Chapter 8.
The morning came, and with it, the sunshine over the cold frost on the grass outside the little store. It shone straight through the window and splattered across the floor in cascades of light. The window was decidedly empty this morning. The centrepiece was gone. Rosie was labelled and tagged, and now on the shelf with the other toys for sale. As the wooden door handle turned, toys glanced at one another as in walked an unfamiliar face. Slamming her bag down on the countertop, and with a huff and a puff, a fine young lady came in, all dressed in bright clothes and hair all pinned up, neat and tidy.
I can't believe it. Today of all days, Christmas Eve, and I have to come into the store and man the fort. What a day for the shopkeeper to get sick. Of all the days he could have got sick, it had to be today. Oh well, better get down to work. What have we got to sell then? Not many toys left on the shelf. Well, haven't been to this store before, so guess it's just a sellout. A teddy, a funny tin soldier, and a rag doll.
She muttered, as she ticked off a list she had created on the counter.
Well, we will see if I can get some bumper sales. Should be able to shed that rag doll, as she is half price.
As the day dragged on and each shopper came, the window emptied. It wasn't the same. Suddenly, there came a familiar face. He walked quite proud, and with a strong pace. He paused at the window, and with a gasp, he stood and stared. She was for sale at last! The tag on the arm. Of course, fair game, as he pressed his fat nose on the window pane. Then with a shout of glee and a big shout, "Caw!" he entered into the Raggedy Doll toy store.
Strutting in, with his big belly popping out, his face was radiant, as he said with a big grin on his face, noticing the new shop worker.
Well, well. Good evening, fine madam. Where's the shopkeeper?
Sick, can you believe it?
She replied, while she buried her head in the till and numbers.
Ah, I see. And you, madam, are in charge of all these fine toys? Everything that is on the shelf is for sale?
He inquired, with a curious and mischievous look in his eyes.
That's a general way a store works, sir. Anything with a ticket.
You have arranged these fine toys. I see there are some new additions to the stock.
New additions? Well, I wouldn't know, sir. All I know is, if it has a ticket, it's for sale, so take your pick.
She said, abruptly, as she was a little bemused by his questions. Surely, all the toys with a ticket were for sale. Funny little man, she thought, as she looked at him with a strange look. Turning away from the shop worker, the man mumbled under his breath, so as not to be heard.
My pick. Well, 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 he's not here. So, I would say all were needed for grabs. I would very much like to take that rag doll and wrap her up and put her in my bag as quick as you can.
The rag doll, sir?
Yes, I would like that doll.
He replied triumphantly, realising that this shop worker indeed did not have a clue that Rosie was not for sale.
I had been persuaded to take home yesterday a ballad doll for my granddaughter, but she really wanted that doll. What a surprise. I get the prize gift after all. My granddaughter will be thrilled with this choice. Now, what can I do about the ballet doll?
Well, sir, I'm sure something could be done.
Oh, well, I guess I could return her after the holidays. I shall just keep her with her bow and return her. You do accept returns?
Oh, why, yes, of course. The shopkeeper here is very passionate about customer satisfaction. I'm sure there'll be no problem with any return, sir.
The mayor's plan was coming together. He couldn't quite believe his fortune. He turned away and stared out of the window as the shop worker walked over to the wooden shelf and started to take the tag from Rosie's arm. He began to mutter, silently, to himself.
Mind you, if I return ballad doll, then he may suspect I was the one to buy the rag doll. What to do? I guess I could keep ballad doll wrapped up in a box until my granddaughter's birthday. Ruby, my great-granddaughter, really wanted that raggedy-looking doll so she could have it for her Christmas morning.
Angel Doll gave a quick glance of panic at Teddy, and Teddy's eyes began to wince as though he were in pain, as he looked on at the events unfolding. Raggedy Doll was taken to the counter. She was wrapped in paper and placed in the bag that she had run her hands over just hours before. The mayor opened his wallet, and with a flick of his hands he placed the money into the hands of the shop worker. Tin Soldier felt as though he couldn't breathe. Angel Doll did all she could not to faint as she watched her friend being sold. Cheddars could not have said anything, even if he had wanted to, as his mechanisms had wound down overnight. Teddy's heart banged in his chest, and a huge lump had appeared in his throat. Puppet Doll looked, with a glance, across at her new Texan friend, hoping he would solve it all and make it right. Powerless to do anything, with human presence in the store, the toys sat, looking on, unable to stop the events from unfolding. Within moments, the life and the light of the shop window had gone. The shopkeeper was blissfully unaware his beloved Rosie was gone, and not being able to tell him who took her, the toys all stood frozen in time as the door closed, and the mayor, red-faced and happy, left the store for a second time in 2 days with an RD paper bag and whistled down the cobbled street. Rosie was gone.
Thank you for listening to this audio theatre presentation. Did you know that Audio Theatre is a listener-supported platform? That's right, because of the kindness of other people, you were able to listen to this story today. Will you help someone else hear it too? By donating at our website at www.manortheatrecompany.uk/audiotheatre. Thank you and see you next time.